Well, another day of excitement and a lot of learning, lot of debates, lot of deliberations, but more importantly, lot of ideation as to which way things are moving. One core theme here really seems to be the way AI and the way fintech is going to be changing the way how companies will do business, how individual would be borrowing. Access to capital would be very different what it will be versus what it was now. And I've got Arjun Abraham Zacharia. He is actually visiting this entire FII summit. I've never met him in India, but it's so nice to meet him actually in Riyadh.
Same here.
You never met in Mumbai?
Absolutely.
You are in Mumbai, I'm in Mumbai.
Exactly.
But we are meeting here in Riyadh.
Yeah.
What brings you to this summit?
See, FII8 is probably one of the largest events to actually ever attend in the world today. And there's a confluence of AI, finance, energy, and a lot of the things that are actually impacting the world today. And this is the best place for you to meet like-minded folks, meet people, thought leaders. And also very special because we also have an investor from Saudi Arabia. So it was great to meet them in person for the first time. Yeah, so that's why we are in Riyadh, and a lot of us, I've gone to Dubai a lot of times, but Riyadh is actually a place where also there's a lot of development happening. So I wanted to see it firsthand and see how we can contribute to the growing economy.
You know, the vibe, the vibrancy, and now the more I'm spending time at this conference, the more realization, at least personally coming to me, is that it is not only about oil.
Yes, they're not talking about oil at all.
Exactly. Saudi Arabia has moved beyond oil. They are talking about new sectors, job creation, a lot of exciting things are happening. Fintech, in a sense, found a lot of promise here, and fintech driven by AI. What is the big trend according to you in the fintech industry?
See, actually the biggest trend where AI and fintech will come together is actually the unlocking of data. So for example, predominantly lending and financing has happened in a very manual, paper-driven manner. With AI, you get the ability of doing things, what you can do, it used to take days in a second. So for example, Alibaba in China has a program called 310. So it takes 3 minutes to apply, 1 minute to approve, and 0 people to approve the loan. It's a 310 model. Totally driven by AI, data-driven, machine learning in the back end. That's the potential that we all can actually apply in geography, be it India or Riyadh tomorrow. So that's where I think the positive use of AI will be in fintech, right? It's sheer number crunching in milliseconds out there. And also the ability to, I would say, stitch data which is siloed. So for example, even in a bank.
Who uses your data?
So there are various fintechs and lenders who actually use the data that is generated on our platform to come up to decisions faster. So for example, what would have taken 30 days, today can happen in 48 hours. It's not just data, it's the way you structure the data and give it to them as well.
How are you different from your competitor?
So actually the key difference being is that the way, first of all, the segment of cross-border is something that there are very few startups in, right? Now by using payments as a wedge, we get the customer to come on a platform. They actually share details related to their payments, the documents, and we crunch all this and create a profile of the customer. And this is very unique in the market. Today, nobody's creating a profile of an SME exporter importer that can then be consumed by either a bank or a fintech or an NBFC. In fact, we also work with financial institutions that are outside India. So we work with a Singapore and a Hong Kong-based fund who's willing to finance exporters and importers out of India based on the data that they're providing, which others wouldn't have been possible before, right?
Because a lot of fintechs are still funded, which means they're living on what could be called as either VC capital or perhaps family office money. Isn't that a challenge? Because ultimately real businesses are ones who make money.
Yeah.
Not the ones who essentially are surviving because of growth capital they were.
Yeah, I think that those days are over in the market. I think there was a time between the time of almost zero interest capital that used to have. But come, I think 2023, 2024, most of the fintechs, including ours, we are actually running a very tight ship. See, what you have to learn from the traditional business, like a bank, is that there's no room for splurges out there. You have to run a tight ship, but where you use technology is to actually compress the time and the errors that happen. Otherwise, the fundamentals of finance never change. It hasn't changed in maybe 1,000 years. It will not change next 1,000 years. That said, I think the key goal is to actually create margin. So from day one, we are very clear that we are not going to give a product out for free. We are selling a product to the SME, we are making money out of it. So all of us have to be unit economics positive today. So I think those days are over, long time. Right.
We are in 2024. 2010, hardly any fintechs were there. 2020, there were, everybody wanted to be in fintech. 2030, will the number of fintechs consolidate? Will the number be 20% less than what the current fintech numbers are?
I think one factor that we need to actually bring in is that the Reserve Bank of India today and the other regulators are looking at fintech with a very with a micro lens. That means the days of fintechs doing things that just for the sake of hockey stick growth are done. We all have to be conservative. We'll all have to be prudent. So I would say that I cannot give you an exact number whether you'll have 20% more, 20% less. But from today onwards to the next 5-6 years, the fintechs that will come out will have dhanda in the middle of their core versus just saying कि यार मैं 100 million user लेके आ जाता हूँ, but फिर क्या करूँगा उसके बाद? You can have 10,000 paying customers.
Profitable, actionable, problem solving, and core to business in terms of taking shareholder value.
Exactly.
Right.
And focusing on a certain segment and trying to create ARPU.
And when they are a problem solver.
Exactly.
Well, lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much.
I look forward to meeting you in Mumbai.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.